Before we take a break, don't forget about our live poll question sponsored by Penn West University. How many games will Pitt football win this season? 6 or less, 7, 8, 9 or more. Chris, I'm in the 8 category, which is 0% right now with our viewers. Now it's jumped up to 14%, but that's kind of, I think, the wheelhouse. And that, I think that's more on the optimistic side of me. It's me as a Pitt grad saying 8 wins.
It reeks of a 7-win team right now. I mean, I like the linebackers they have coming back, obviously. Kyle Lewis is really good. Des Reed is really good. Eli Holstein, man, I mean, you got to scratch your head. If you're going by what have you done for me lately or what did you do for me lately down the stretch last year, he was really bad and they were really bad. I hate to oversimplify, but a lot goes as the quarterback goes. If he looks more like the guy that played early in the season and showed a knack for playmaking, they bring back enough players at pretty important spots where you feel kind of good about their offense, but I just still think that there's a lack of kind of quality depth overall on this team, and I think if they have any major injuries where other teams might be able to backfill a little bit more effectively, it's kind of a food chain sport now, Rich, you know, with the portal, with NIL, and you've got your halves at the very top, then your next tier down. And then I think Pitt's in that third tier, and while they might be able to raid smaller programs, many years they're going to get raided. Keeping Reed was a big win, but I just still look at the thinness of the program and think they're probably a 7-win team, maybe 8 at best, but I would bet on 7 for sure.
All right, we got to take a break here, but coming up next, I want to touch on a story I read online today about the Pirates will spend less money next year. Going to get your thoughts coming up next, 412-575-2600.
Was that apparently in 2023, Rob Manfred, because of his dissatisfaction, the way John wrote the story and the way John framed it, sent his, essentially, the guy's name is Morgan Sword, and he is essentially baseball's competitive balance guy on the league side. That is kind of the job that he does for them, is sort of making sure that things are right from a competitive balance standpoint. And he was sent to talk to the Pirates essentially about the way the commissioner's office felt the team was being run, and to express some dissatisfaction on behalf of Rob Manfred. I found that, if true, to be pretty eye-opening for this reason. I have always sort of labored under the delusion, or maybe labored under the assumption, that Rob Manfred was quite fine with how the Pirates are being run, because if he wasn't, I always hypothesized he would step in and make them be run a different way or put real pressure on Bob Nutting. If John's reporting there is correct, and I haven't seen that from anybody else, but I also have no reason really to doubt it because he just kind of stated it as fact in the piece, if that visit actually was paid and it didn't yield any dividends, it does suggest that Major League Baseball is not as happy maybe behind the scenes with the Pirates as I would have assumed.
All right, back out to the phone lines. We got Shannon out in the north side. How you doing, Shannon?
The balance guy on
Bob Nutting is a dolt. He has this city by the balls. He does.
All right. I mean, look, obviously, I would say, I think, I don't know if it's a debatable, but he might be the most hated sports figure in the city of Pittsburgh. There's no question. I mean, I don't think we've ever gotten a good Bob Nutting call on this show.
Well, I mean, for good reason. The team's had 4 winning seasons in the last, 33 years?
Yeah.
Since 1992. They've had 3 really good seasons, 1 82-win season that didn't really yield much, and the rest of it has been near historical levels of losing. They haven't won a playoff series since 1979. And in the present day, with the best pitcher in baseball, or at bare minimum the best pitcher in the National League, and one of the best we've ever seen this early in a career, maybe the best other than, I don't know, Doc Gooden, he has talked incessantly, as the owner, about needing to have an urgency to win, and they've used that word urgent or urgency a lot, and yet his actions do not back up his words. And so you're going to be pretty well reviled by your fan base when you say one thing, but when what actually happens seems to be something else altogether. And by the way, to answer your original statement about Skenes, I would put it at 0.0001% because technically you're not supposed to rule anything out and say it's a 0% chance. But functionally, you know what I'm saying. I mean, they'd have to probably go more like 5 and 150. I still don't think Skenes would do it. I don't think Skenes is worried about his arm. He doesn't have a ton of wear and tear on it because he hasn't been a full-time pitcher for a long time. And with respect to Roman Anthony, I know he's a massive hitting prospect and maybe the best in baseball. I still think we're talking about Skenes on a different plane than even guys with that kind of pedigree for Boston.
And look, why would he do it if you're not building a team around him? You know, what faith would you have in the organization?
That's independent, though.
Yeah.
That's independent, though, of like him deciding, hey, I would do 5 years, let's say $130 million, because SpotRack projects him to get $45 to $50 million in arbitration. They're usually pretty good with this. Juan Soto set the record. Maybe there's a chance if Skenes continues on this ungodly run, he would sniff more in the 70s, something like that. But let's say SpotTrack is correct here. 45 to 50 million in arbitration. You buy out a free agent year for $50 million, let's say. All right, he's got, or maybe it takes like $75 million. He's got 5 years, 125. He at least knows he's made $125 million, whether the team around him stinks or not. The fact of the matter is, though, here's what Paul Skenes, I think, is probably thinking. Wait a minute, if I buy out 1 year of free agency, what happens if I get hurt in that final year of the deal? Then I can just kiss about $650 million, $700 million potentially at that point goodbye. I think he would probably make that calculated risk to say, I'm going to be great and I'm going to be healthy by the time I hit free agency. And when that happens, pull the lever, because I'm cashing in with an amount of wealth that's almost inconceivable to everyday Americans. Actually is inconceivable.
Jacob in Plum. How you doing, Jacob?
I'm doing good, and how's it going?
Good, thanks for calling.
So my question was, Pirates real quick. Hypothetically, how possible would it be for Mark Cuban to buy the Pirates if it was sold?
Hypothetically speaking, I think he could buy him. I think Thomas Tull could buy him. I'm sure there'd be other suitors out there that would buy him. But the problem is Bob Nutting's not going to sell the Pirates unless he's forced to somehow from Major League Baseball. I think that's just that. I don't even think that's worth talking about anymore. As much as everyone in the city wants Bob Nutting to sell, he's not going to.
Can I also stress to people that if you're going to hope for a buyer for the Pirates, dream bigger than even the two names you just heard. Thomas Tull is extremely, extremely rich, wealthy. So is Mark Cuban. There are also people who are even wealthier than those guys by a lot. Like, you should hope, your hope should be that if the Pirates ever got sold, it would be for whatever reason to somebody akin to Steve Cohen, who's just going to keep spending money because that's what he wants to do and because it's a plaything for him and not something he needs to turn a profit or anything he really cares to have turn a profit. You need somebody who has so much money that all they really want to do is try to win. But I think you are getting long odds that that would ever happen in the highly unlikely event that Bob Nutting would ever sell the baseball team.
Yeah, you need an owner with pride. Exactly what you said. Wants to spend money to win. I also think baseball, there needs to be some fixes with baseball. A salary cap, a salary floor, I think would be a good start, but I don't know if we're going to see that, Chris. All right, we got to take a break. Back with more coming up next. Stay right there.